Yeah, my name's Sam Large. I'm a senior men's pair with my partner Sammy for Great Britain, and yeah, at the moment we're training for the World Championships, or what we hope to be the World Championships coming up this year.
Yeah, I'm Grace. I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm in a level 6 women's trio.
Hi, I'm Ellen, and I'm in a women's group, and I'm also training for the Worlds.
What do you find is the most challenging part of the training?
For me personally, I know this won't count for others, but it's probably just getting to gym in the first place. So I actually live just over an hour away from gym, and so I have to drive in 5 times a week, and it's a lot of hours and miles in the car. And the hardest bit for me is after doing like a day at work or something, and then getting up early for work and then getting back late from gym. It's usually the drive home because I'm quite tired and stuff. I'm quite lucky in the sense that when I'm in the gym, like my gym partner Sammy is really motivated, and my coach Andrew, he's always so energetic no matter what. So usually the hardest thing for me is the car journey home, just being absolutely knackered for the day and trying not to fall asleep or something. So yeah.
What's your hardest skill you've ever competed or practiced?
Um, yeah, I find arm balancing really difficult. So I used to be in a men's pair with like 11, 16 with this guy who was really good at hand balancing, and he was quite big for a top. So we only did like head balancing because I definitely couldn't do arm balancing then. So I feel like I've never had like the time to develop my hand balancing, and yeah, I'm a bit stiff in the shoulders and stuff, and I just don't have the natural like coordination of balancing anything on my arms. I can only do head balancing really. Yeah.
And you also have a hole in your hair now, or?
Yeah, I've got two now. Over the first lockdown, I had it like kind of grew back, but now Sammy over lockdown, because he did loads of like blocks and stuff. He's changed where he balances on my head. So I've got the old bald spot and then a new one in a different place. Yeah, it's not a good look.
You can still hide it.
What's your favorite balance and dynamic skill, like for each one?
That's a good question. I mean, to compete, my favorite balance is I do head balancing, and then I do like spiral. So turn around with Sammy on my head. It's not my most favorite move in the world, but for balance, that's probably my favorite. Unless if you could like count like a tumble as a balance move or something, because it's in the same routine. I don't know. I do prefer tempo moves a bit more because like I am engaged in them a bit more. My favorite one is I really like pitch full twist to catch, full twist to catch, and then full and pike. So like yeah, dynamic moves from hands to hands basically.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a hard decision to switch gyms a few years ago?
Yes, it was a really hard decision. That's a really good question. So I moved after Worlds. Sammy, my partner, was literally told me he's going to move after Worlds no matter what, just because we had a bit of help from the Heathrow coach before Worlds, and Sammy literally, thought he was the best coach in the world. So it was a bit of a decision for me: either have no top at Tigers, my old club, or move to Heathrow with Sammy, because he was going to move no matter what. So it was quite hard, having to actually make that decision, because it's a big move. But no, looking back, I really do look back, and I'm glad that I did move because of the opportunities it's given me. So yeah, it was hard. It's never easy moving gyms. Yeah.
And do you still have contact with Chris Rogers, your ex-coach, or not at all?
Yeah, I do. I mean, at every competition and stuff, we like say hi and stuff and have a chat and stuff. But I do appreciate, like, for him, it must have been a bit of a blow to, see one of his gymnasts move to another club to be with a different coach. I can understand it. It was probably a little bit hard for him as well. But yeah.
Great.
What's been your favourite competition so far?
Well, most recently, obviously, going to Portugal. So in March, literally the last competition before lockdown. Probably be my favourite for a while, because it was my first senior World Cup, and in the end I won it, and it was the most amazing feeling. But probably the one that will stick with me the most is probably World Championships 2018 in Belgium. Just the atmosphere was so cool, and I really didn't expect to win that one, and we did in the end. And it
was not expected at all, or?
Not really, because that was my first World Championship with this partner, Sammy. And to be honest, we were still kind of like learning the ropes with each other in a way. I didn't, in a way, I wasn't as confident, basically. That, because dealing with nerves and stuff, me and Sammy didn't really work well together in the first couple of competitions. So I didn't expect it at all until the day of the competition. So yeah.
How did you work it out with your partner? Like at the start when it wasn't working too well with you two?
Yeah, it was a bit of almost like a culture shock for me, because Sammy trains so differently from my last partner. Usually it's in Great Britain, usually the base is like the boss of the partnership. I don't know if that's the same for you in Australia and stuff. But Sammy is quite stubborn, and he doesn't really like to be told what to do. He likes it, being equal. But I wanted to tell him off and stuff. So it did take a couple of months of like arguing and stuff. And I think just before the Worlds, we kind of like clicked. I realised that I've got to like keep it, almost like treat Sammy like he's the boss in a way, just to make him feel better. I feel like we get along well if he knows that he's can tell me what to do as well, basically. Yeah.
And do you have a lot of fights together?
Not at all anymore. Only if we're like really tired. Yeah, I've got to the point now where I trust him completely, and yeah, if something goes wrong, we don't really have to say anything to each other. We just both know what we've got to do, and we just get along. And yeah, most of the time we're having a laugh or something. Yeah, we rarely fight these days.
How much do you train per week?
So usually about 4 hours a session, and that's 5 times a week. So about 20 hours. I mean, I'm one of the only people who don't do morning trainings at Heathrow. So the other guys do a few more hours, but yeah, I make up for it with an extra hour sometimes before gym or something, doing weights or something. So around 20 hours. How long do you train?
Well, I train 15 to 16 hours per week.
Okay. Yeah.
But over summer we do a bit more, and coming up to competitions more. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to train, I think, 15 hours a week back at Tigers. So yeah, it's still a lot, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
I've been training 10 hours, but for the last about 9 months, we've been just doing 3 hours a week on Zoom. So quite a shock coming back to gym.
Yeah.
What do you plan on doing in the future? Like, do you want to do Cirque du Soleil or just finish?
Yeah, I mean, before COVID, the original plan was to do the World Championships, do Europeans, and then maybe the World Games, and then after that, yeah, do like a year or two in Cirque du Soleil or a show in Las Vegas, which is now shut. Something like that. That was the plan, and then move on after that. But at the moment, it's yeah, I really don't know what the plan is at the moment. I'm thinking with lots of circuses like going under and stuff. I'm thinking maybe I'll just leave that out for now. But in an ideal world, I would love to do something like Cirque du Soleil.
What's the highest score you've ever received?
So that was at the final at Portugal in March. I got 29.7, and oh my god, that was such an amazing feeling seeing like not only just a 29, but then a 29.7 was absolutely incredible. We literally did do a perfect routine, and so yeah, I couldn't be happier. It was an awesome feeling.
Do you have a role model in Acro or like a favorite group?
Yeah, when I first started, it was my coach Chris Rogers. I just thought he was absolutely amazing, and I really looked up to him because he, took an interest in us and started coaching us and stuff. But now I think it's probably the Israeli men's four. When they were at Worlds in 2018, their final routine was the most amazing routine I've ever seen, and I really look up to them in terms of like a performance aspect. Like they just literally put their heart and soul into it, and I really found that inspiring. And whenever I'm feeling down, I just watch that video, and it helps me get back up and go to the gym. So yeah. You will find the training beforehand really hard, and you think, why is this so hard? We're not going to do very well. But that's all just, in a sense, preparing you. And it is really about hard working. It's about feeling that you can't do it to be able to then just go the next day, and then you will be able to do it. It's about persistence and just consistency and turning up and doing what your coaches tell you, basically. But it will pay off. It's all about investing your efforts, basically.